Right, it's Monday, we're off to the cinema. Luke's back again. Say hello, Luke.
What's up?
We're off to go to Odeon's Screen Unseen, where we don't know what the fuck the film is. If you don't know what Screen Unseen is, it's where Odeon show a film that's coming out, but they show it sooner. The options that people think it is of the following: Blue Beetle, Strays, A Haunting in Venice, and then Scrapper are the ones that we think so far. And then you thought about some other ones, didn't you, Luke? Or they said?
Just the dive.
Just the dive. So we don't know what it is. Hopefully we'll enjoy. And then you'll probably tell from whatever the fucking title of the video is, I guess. So well done for knowing before me.
After cinema, after cinema, after cinema reviews.
What is up, guys? Welcome to Boomer Base. Today we are here again with another After Cinema Reviews. I am one of your hosts, Ben. Luke is back once again. Say hello, Luke.
Hello again, yeah, good to be back.
But before we get to the real content, if you end up liking what you see and want to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified anytime I upload.
So today we ventured off to the Odeon that you'll know from the bit of the video that's actually before this that I forgot about before I started talking about this. We went to go see the Screen Unseen, which, if you don't know what it is, I already think I explained, but it's just a film that comes out to the Odeon a few weeks or so plus before it actually is fully released in the cinema. And today we saw Scrapper, in which I hadn't heard about this until... Well, I think both of us hadn't heard about this until we started looking at the clues to figure out what the film was.
Yeah.
And I have not heard anything to do about this film at all. And not even seen a trailer, no nothing. And it literally releases in a couple of weeks. But it's a British sort of film, a bit like This Is England. And the synopsis is: Georgie, a dreamy 12-year-old girl, lives happily alone in her London flat, filling it with magic. Suddenly, her estranged father turns up and forces her to confront reality. So, as I mentioned, it's pretty much like a slightly more darker, but also not darker than This Is England.
Yeah, it's a bit more sweet and innocent, I would say. More innocent than This Is England, that's for sure. Yeah.
But it's got that same vibe. So if that's a type of film that you like, so This Is England mid-90s, and what I've also seen that people think this film is like with the Florida Project, and this is certainly a film for you. I actually really enjoyed the film. I wasn't honestly expecting much at all, and it not necessarily blew me away, but it exceeded expectations for sure. How about you?
Yeah, I would say the same. Like Ben, I knew nothing about this. It did start off slow, and I was maybe sort of thinking, I don't know if I'll end up liking this in the end, but it really picks up. I think, yeah, after sort of 20 minutes or so, I was on board, and yeah, it delivered. I thought it was solid entry. Yeah.
And it's not like necessarily that the beginning 20 minutes is bad. It's just that you're not really sure where the film's going. All your, well, spoilers anyway. I'll say it's spoilers. I always assume everyone that watches any of these videos knows that there will be spoilers, but spoilers.
Yeah, for a movie that doesn't come out officially for another 2 weeks.
actually really out. But you don't really know what's happening with Georgie. All you know is that she's lost her mum and she lives on her own, and she is pretty much a sort of Tracy Beaker-esque character. She goes around stealing bikes and things to sell for money. She lives by herself. She has a friend called Alin, and they kind of hang around a lot of the time. She doesn't really have many friends, if anything. School's not very good. Social workers are always on her back and things. You're kind of not really sure where the film's going up until a certain point, until the dad kind of appears. And then even then you're unsure whether the dad's a good guy or bad guy. And it does take a while for the film to kind of let you know if he is a good guy or bad guy or not. Talk as I'm trying to not burp, but the burp's not coming.
Yeah, it starts off just establishing what Georgie's sort of like. It shows her like living very creatively and independently. Like, she gets a guy from her local shop to do little voice recordings for her, so she can trick her social workers over the phone by pretending that he's her uncle, and she'll just play the sound bites down the phone to them to pretend that it's this uncle that doesn't actually exist. Her uncle Winston Churchill, which no one somehow sees through. But
no, but I think the social worker stuff's just supposed to be like satire and things like that, like, or at least whatever the word is, to on the nose almost.
Yeah.
But, no, the film is filled with a lot of real magical moments, to be fair. There is a scene where Georgie loses a tooth, and then her dad, Jason... I think initially when you watch it, you think he's doing something sinister, and then he gets caught.
He ends up sneaking into her room and putting his hand under her pillow. She assumes it's him looking for money or trying to nick her phone or something like that. And yeah, before he admits what it is, you are thinking like, what the hell was he
what have you
doing?
done, pal?
Yeah, but he just wants to take her tooth and put a couple of quid under her pillow, like to pretend the tooth fairy's been. Which I thought, yeah, that's really sweet actually.
It was very sweet, and it was also very sad that she didn't know what the tooth fairy was.
Yeah, that's strange. Like, did kids not know that anymore? Did we not have the tooth fairy
Maybe
anymore?
her mum couldn't afford the tooth fairy.
Maybe
that was not something that she was able to do. But no, there is a scene where they're starting to bond and things, and they're at the train station. I think you said on the walk back that was like probably one of your favourite films, scenes, where they're just like taking the piss out of like stand-byers and things, like creating their own story about what they're saying.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Like, I didn't expect the film to necessarily be funny, and I laughed a fair few times, to be fair, for a film that I wouldn't even like consider a comedy film.
Yeah.
But no, it's a very semi-uplifting film. I definitely, going into this film, you're not going to get the same level of intensity as something like This Is England at all. It does feel like it could just suddenly escalate that badly, and I think there is only one scene in the entire film where the dad actually does shout.
Yes.
And it's more just, I think, because his privacy has been invaded.
Yeah. And it's sort of like because she's been very standoffish with him since he arrived back. It just sort of comes to a bit of a crescendo, and he gets sick of her back talking him and stuff. And he does shouts at her and tells her to shut up or whatever. But that's about as
about as bad as it gets, to be fair. Because I think from now knowing how the entire film goes, I think probably at that point he was actually just trying, and he's trying to actually make an effort.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of all blowing back up in his face. I think just that anger boils up to being like, yeah, I just shouldn't have fucking bothered. Why did I come back? Because Jason used to work as a ticket person in Ibiza, which is all we're told, which we have to just assume is, truth and gospel and things.
Yeah, he left when, I'm assuming they must have been like 18 or whatever, when he bounced. That was when him and the mum had Georgie. And he's been gone for the last 12 years, and he's 30 now, and has only just come back just from living a life of selling tickets in Ibiza.
And from looking at the cast list, as after the film, we didn't really recognise anyone. I recognised one of the lady's mums, who's just in a lot of British things anyway.
Yeah.
But Luke realised that Jason is Harris Dickinson, which...
Yeah, well, I mean, I've only seen him in one thing, in The King's Man, but he just looks so much different in this than he did in The King's Man, and sounds different as well, that I just never made the connection. I don't know if anyone's seen The King's Man. I didn't think it was that great, truthfully, but that's what he's from. He's been in a few other things you might have seen him in, but that was, I think, probably his biggest thing to date.
See, I've seen See How They Run, but I couldn't actually frickin' tell you if he was in that film
He
at
plays
all.
Richard Attenborough in that. Good God.
I don't even remember there being a Richard Attenborough or whoever the fuck that is. Oh, yes.
Richard Attenborough he was an actor. He was in Jurassic Park. He's the businessman putting it all together.
I remember him now from looking at a picture, but could not tell you that was Jason at all, because the 8 Mile Eminem haircut really does disguise him quite well.
Yeah, and the sort of London street accent he has as well. Yeah.
It's always very eye-opening to watch more things about British London, sort of poverty things, being from not that area. It's a very different style of being poor, randomly, which is also very weird to think about. I don't think it's too far-fetched from the everywhere else poor in the UK, but it's definitely different to see, as I knew poor kids growing up, or very poor kids, and it's still quite different from what I see within this film. But this film very much felt like a BBC documentary about a loss of grief or something like that, mixed with a CBBC program about the same thing. It's like both of those got melded together, and we got this kind of fun-esque film about grief and a father and daughter rekindling.
Yeah. Well, I think that is like part of what makes this film so strong is it's such a simple concept, but really like just a complex situation like within that, if you know what I mean. Like it's like the synopsis is like 2 lines long, and that more or less explains the whole thing. But it's so much more than that.
Yeah, even the storyline bit is just the same.
It's her coming to terms with the death of her mother, like, and she's marking down the stages of grief she's going through. But like we were talking about before, she probably isn't quite as far along as she thinks she is. Like, she's probably still in the denial stage, because there's a room she has in her house where she's building a tower out of scrap metal, and we were just discussing, like, we think that's probably why the film is called Scrapper. We hadn't thought about it before, but this is probably why it's called Scrapper, because she's building this tower out of scrap. You don't really know why until the mum, or you hear a voicemail from the mum, and there's a scene where she imagines the tower going into the sky, because the mum told her that she was going to the sky, not that she was dying, that she would be going to the sky. And obviously Georgie's so young, she doesn't really put 2 and 2 together immediately. And this is her still being in denial about the death of her mother, that she's actually still alive and just in the sky. And so Georgie's building this tower to go and see her.
Like, even now there's only 3 reviews on IMDB, and I mean, it's got 2 7s and a 10.
Yeah.
And the 7s don't necessarily say anything bad at all, which is nice. It does say in this 10 one that he was like a DJ. He returns back, but I don't think they mentioned the DJ.
No,
at
he
all.
wasn't even DJ.
No. He definitely mentioned ticket thing multiple times in the film, so I'm not sure what that person got, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, it's... once she hears the voicemail at the end that the mum sends to Jason just before she passes away, obviously Georgie hears that the mum admit that she's dying and that she just told Georgie she was going to the sky, and that's how she sort of realises, oh, mum's not accessible anymore, and she has to sort of move on from there. And that's why she accepts Jason in the end. When she goes to him at the football pitch that he's playing at, and says, oh, maybe I do need you in my life, sort of thing. Yeah,
It was nice.
It was nice. It was sweet.
Yeah, just literally a nice film. Like, I think the part that I found the most enjoyable, but really didn't expect from the film, was just the scene where they gave like all the spiders like talking points.
Yeah.
And that was
they've all got names.
We haven't seen this one in a while, and there's just like a nice little like rest in peace, I don't know, whatever it was, like fucking Richard or some shit.
Yeah. There's just multiple spiders around the house in different rooms, and they all
like
have
Napoleon, Hitler, and stuff like that. All were just like really like historical names.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I had fun. I'm glad I've seen it, and I don't think I have honestly no idea if I would have seen this film if I started seeing it being released. It might have just been one where I might have gone, oh, I'm free tonight, I'll probably go watch this maybe. I don't know. Like, because I think this won the Sundance, the something award. It said one in one of these reviews.
Yeah, it was like the grand jury vote
grand
award
jury.
or something. Yeah, they voted it as best film.
Which is very good, to be fair, to a win.
Yeah.
At the Sundance. Oh, God, I can't freaking burp. There's like burps that like stuck. But no.
Yeah, you'd think that more noise would have been generated about it because of that, but yeah, this was the first I'm really hearing about it, just because people were suggesting that it might be the Screen Unseen movie. But yeah.
Lola Campbell certainly carried the film, and as one of the comments said, she is a future star for sure.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even at however old she freaking is there.
I was going to say, I bet it won't have a birthday on there yet.
No,
they don't tend to put like kid actor birthdays.
Yeah, no, don't tend to put underage actors.
Yeah.
Dates of birth, I think. But no, she definitely will. She probably has. I don't actually know how much she is like that, or if she just transformed herself to be like a sort of popo kid in London. But it'll be cool to see what else she does. To be fair, hope she doesn't end up the same as the guy from This Is England, as he didn't really do all too much.
Yeah, I mean, he did all the... Was he in the This Is England TV shows?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He was.
Yeah, and then that's about it. He was in an episode of Game of Thrones as well. But I mean, at least he hasn't been ruined by it, by Hollywood.
No.
And, yeah.
I don't think he's been enough to be ruined by Hollywood.
Well, I mean, that's the good thing, yeah. Yeah, it does tend to happen with child stars. But, yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I'm just checking quickly because she had a hearing aid on through the entire film, and it never once mentioned whether she did have hearing problems at all. And I'm wondering if it's the actress herself that has a hearing aid.
Possibly, yeah.
Great. The internet tells me that Lola Campbell is an actor. Thanks. I am glad to know. Yeah, no. So I mean, I can take that as 2 points. One, it's either very good to see more representation of deaf people or people with hearing problems in cinema.
Yeah.
Or it's nice to see more representation of actors or actresses with those hearing impairments.
Do you think they just thought, oh, let's just give her a hearing aid and not say anything about it at all? Because
I assume it must be like that she does have it or something.
Yeah.
But
why not? Why not?
I don't really know. The film doesn't say, or we don't get to know. Probably in one of these like scenes we would see. I'll keep one of those up to watch. But no, I think you can tell that we both enjoyed this film, and
absolutely.
I'd probably give it like an 8 to mid-8 probably out of 10.
Yeah, at least. I'm sat on a solid 8. I think. Yeah, for the IMDb rating. But yeah, well deserved as well. Yeah,
Well,
I wasn't expecting much from it when it first started, and then won me over for sure. Would recommend. Absolutely would recommend.
100% would recommend.
Yeah. I mean, it's only an hour and 25 minutes long, so it never wastes any time either. So it's
Very quick and easy.
Yeah, a nice 90 minutes and done, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah,
Go see it in 2 weeks, you suckers. Should have
Yeah.
gone to the screen unseen.
yeah. August 25th, Friday, August 25th is when it comes out.
Sponsored by Scrapper. But no, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And then tune in for Luke's trifecta of videos this week for Gran Turismo.
Well, I mean, we could do an Enter
We
the Dragon
definitely could do an
tomorrow.
Enter the
Yeah,
Dragon.
why not?
It
Why
still
not?
is an after cinema review.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to Enter the Dragon. Get the quartet. If the fourth, is that what it is?
It could
Quartet?
be a quartet. I mean, there's still possibility we'll see a fifth film. Who
Gran
knows?
Turismo, yeah, to
An
be fair.
anthology.
An
of
anthology of Luke. And then they'll be back in like a year's plus time to do some more randomly.
Yeah.
Oh, there could be The Last of Us as well.
Could
But
be
yeah.
The Last of Us.
Look
Yes,
forward to
yeah,
further
yeah.
things with Luke.
Yeah.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. Click the button to keep watching, or click the other video for more videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.